All right, happy Monday.
Yes.
April 13th, although it'll be Tuesday, April 14th for those of you listening on Spotify and
Or in Australia.
Apple Podcasts, or if you're in Australia.
Or if Chris is tuned in.
We do have some fans in Australia, specifically Chris and a good friend of ours, Nick, who runs the Australian AFC Bournemouth supporters group. So, Nick, if you're listening, happy Tuesday. It is, 7 a.m. there, I think? Something like that.
Yeah, it's like 16 hours ahead.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
So, Naz, as always, we will start off our show with how are you? How was the week? How was the weekend?
It was good. Weekend was good.
Results aside.
Yeah,
it was
results
a good,
aside.
It was a good weekend.
Yeah. I think I'm starting to teach myself to, as I've become a pundit with you, essentially.
Yeah, a pundit. I love
essentially. I've had to start teaching myself to not, because I pay more attention to the game now.
Yeah.
So because
You're
of
welcome.
that, every single every single weekend essentially becomes, the start of the weekend becomes pretty rough.
Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I've found myself being much better over the last 2-ish years of doing this now, of compartmentalizing, the result, pack that in. I'll still, if I'm on, at least for Bournemouth, if I'm on like the Bournemouth supporters, Facebook or Reddit or, any of that stuff.
Turn it off.
Then then I'll drop in with, if I feel it, some of my anger or some of my jubilation, but for the purpose of the show, a little bit more tempered and objective.
Yeah, I found the last 3 weekends, like Arsenal played their games at 11 every day.
Right.
And it seemed to be like every time the result came out, it just felt like it dragged through the day.
Yeah.
Like it turned the Saturday into what was
sure.
going to be an alright Saturday into like what else is going to happen?
Well, yeah. So, my teams went 1-2 over the weekend.
Yeah.
AC Milan is just completely falling apart, it seems.
AK did not play this week because they do take, due to European playing, they do take the weeks off in which the European games are for the top teams. Right, because
they're mostly on Thursdays also, as opposed to, it's a little bit easier when it's Tuesday or Wednesday for Champions League. But
AK is down 3-0 to RAYO. But
Rayo Vallecano, yeah. Vallecano's a good squad. And there's no shame in that. So also, we talked about it a little bit yesterday morning on our pour over, but a quick review, and once again, huge thank you to everyone that attended, everyone that was a part of it. Our Landon Donovan event last Tuesday was beyond all my wildest expectations. When you're putting these things together, you kind of hope for the best, prepare for the worst. You never know what the athlete's personality is going to be like.
You've never met the person,
and to be completely objective, based on general fan sentiment, it was a very mixed bag on what to expect from Landon Donovan.
Yeah, you can tell from just what I've seen over those couple hours is that he was probably the player that did start out as like the arrogant hothead originally.
Right,
and then I think he did go over with us his humbling experience. Towards the end of his career, and then I think with his also having a family, kids.
Right.
I think that kind of brought him grounded.
He's also 43 now, 44 years old.
And I think it changed his priorities.
For sure.
And I think now that it's changed his priorities, his outlook on life and on everything is.
There's even a little bit of a passage at the very end of the book that kind of says like who he is now. And it's he's a father, he's a loving husband, he's if you haven't read the book, I highly recommend it, but very pro mental health and therapy, and he basically calls it going to the gym for your brain, which is, in my opinion, a great way to look at it. There doesn't need to be and this is the wrong maybe phrasing of it, but there doesn't necessarily need to be something quote unquote wrong with you to seek out, whether it's mental coaching or therapy or any of that. Especially when you're an athlete at the top of the game, you got to keep all parts of your body in, whether it's nutrition, whether it's, going to the gym and working out, or keeping your mind sharp, especially with, all these added matches and less downtime and more requirements on the body. So, Landon was incredible. I'm still getting emails and messages from attendees and from other people that, were kind of peripherally aware of the event. Like, hey, how was it? I heard it was incredible. People commenting on the YouTube videos and all that. So thank you again to Landon. Thank you to his agent, Rich, for helping me put all this together. And thank you to Todd Donovan, sporting director for NYCFC, who, out of the kindness of his heart and his relationship with both Rich and Landon, drove up from Rockland County to surprise us all to hang out a little bit for the event. So I said it that night, and the next couple of days, like, it still doesn't feel real to me. And now, Friday and the weekend and back to normal soccer and stuff like that, it's like, man, we did it. Like, all right, now what's next?
What's next?
Like,
we have to keep the ball going.
So, if you guys in the audience have any requests, obviously we'll see what we can do with our budget and travel requirements. But we are absolutely looking to, and we're already having a couple conversations about building on to this event with more events, this summer into next year.
Just with the World Cup alone, the next 2 months are critical.
Absolutely. So, all right, let's hop into it. We did have a busy week. We were back to Champions League. We're back to Premier League as well. But we will start with the midweek Champions League matches. Only one home team did win their match, which I found a little bit odd. But we will start with the Tuesday matches. In Portugal, Arsenal with a late goal to take a 1-0 victory thanks to Kai Havertz. Yeah. Overall, they were, the better side, but credit to Sporting and just kind of
again, you're talking about somebody that came in and put 5 goals up on Bodo in their final game against them. And again, Sporting came to play. They came to frustrate, and it worked. Kai Havertz pulling it out in the end. Yeah. Either way, bringing it home level or bringing it home with 1 goal, I think all the Arsenal fans were happy to at least get a win after the last 2 games that they had prior to that.
Yeah. So beyond that, first of all, what do you think? On the return leg, which is coming up this week.
It depends. In Arsenal's last game, the players look tired. Yeah, they look beat. I think the 60 games they've played this season, losing 6, winning 54 games is tiring, or at least playing well in 54 games is tiring.
So for sure, that is definitely.
I don't know. We'll see what they pull out at home. So
you're not wrong there. All right. So beyond that, let's go to the other Tuesday match. This one I thought was going to be all fireworks, and it did have some of that, but in Madrid, Spain at Santiago Bernabeu, it was Real Madrid 1, Bayern Munich 2. 2 goals right before and after halftime. 41st minute from Luis Diaz, 46th minute from Harry Kane, and then Kylian Mbappe came back with 1 in the 74th minute to make things interesting. But only 4 shots on target for Munich, and still they were able to bury those 2 goals and kind of run and hide and wait out the second leg in Germany.
Again, Bayern is on top of its game. Right now is thought to be the best team in Europe, best team in the world. I don't see Real Madrid.
I don't. Really.
You mentioned it beforehand. You said that there was no home wins.
Right.
You got to remember, we're now in the part of the thing where home field advantage goes to the teams that placed better in the thing. Yeah. And I think we're seeing it now that the teams that did place better are essentially edging. They're getting that edge against the teams who did not come up, who came up short and didn't earn that home field advantage, essentially.
Yes. All right. Now to the Wednesday matches. PSG hosting Liverpool.
Yep.
This was, despite it being a 2-0 victory for PSG, it was nowhere near that close.
Yeah.
Liverpool did not register a shot on target. They only had 26% of the possession. And an early goal from Disarray Douay, followed up by Special K, Kvicha Kvaratskhelia in the 65th minute. And this was the one home team that won.
Yes.
Do you give Liverpool any shot back at Anfield to make this interesting?
I think if Slot could end the season now, I think he would. If you look at Liverpool's last few results over the several games they've played, they also look tired. They look beat. Again, they're coming off their champions, season. Slot finally had full control of the team. I think he's got a lot going on with some key injuries to players he thought were going to be key points. He's got a lot going on with the whole Mo Salah drama. And there's 6 games left in the season. Personally, I think you're still going to have that. They're going to have that drift over into the final game. Yeah. I don't see them coming back, especially with PSG at home.
Right.
So.
All right, the final 4th match that we had in Champions League, Barcelona hosting Atletico Madrid in a La Liga derby of sorts. This was the 2nd consecutive match that they played against one another, and obviously they will be playing 3 out of 4 against each other. Barcelona had a red card late in the first half from Pau Cubarsí. Julian Alvarez scored just after that in the 45th minute, and then an Alexander Sorloth goal in the 70th. And Atleti, away from home, with only 3 shots on target, do get a 2-0 victory. This is one, despite going back to the Wanda Metropolitano now in Madrid, I still give Barca a shot at coming back from this one.
Yeah, I feel the red card helped a lot.
Right.
Again, Barca still stayed in control after the red card. They're going to be playing with win mindset.
Right. But away goals don't matter.
But again, it is still Atletico Madrid.
Right.
They did 5-1 against Barcelona earlier on in the season. It's going to be interesting. I think the interesting thing here that people could talk about, listen, again, all results aside on Wednesday, you're going to have you could have a possibility of 4 teams who I think have all played against each other in the group rounds.
Yep.
Going against each other in the semifinals.
Right.
Because I think Arsenal played, they played Munich and they played Atletico in the group stages.
So in your opinion, do any of these results from the first leg get overturned, and if so, which is, or either way, what's the most likely?
As a nervous Arsenal fan, obviously the Sporting game could easily go either way.
Yep.
I think the Barcelona Atletico Madrid can go anyway.
I think that one is for me, the Barcelona Madrid match is the one that I would pick out and say, this.
I think Bayern at home is going to be too much for Madrid. I think PSG at home is going to be too much for Liverpool. Or PSG away will still be a little too much for Liverpool.
Yeah, I agree. I think at this point Liverpool need to focus on just getting back into Champions League for next year. So
I think the Arsenal Sporting or the Atletico Madrid Barcelona.
Yeah, and again with the Sporting Arsenal match, I could easily see it being, Arsenal winning by 4 or 5, or I could see they have to grind out, they got
to figure out what's wrong. Timber on the bench still because he's injured. You've got third stringers playing for some reason as starting, and then the second stringers coming on is in the halftime. I don't know what's going on there. So
that's definitely an interesting thing. Is it kind of just trying to rotate a little bit better for the end run?
That's the thing. Again, we had a lot of players come back from injury that people were like, "Oh, this is a joke." Were they actually injured? I don't know if people saw Zubamendi was actually distraught and limping at the end of the game against Bournemouth. So something's going on.
Yeah. So, all right. At any rate, that's going to do it for our Champions League coverage. I do have to take care of something upstairs, so we will take an extended break right now, and then we will be back with more 100 Miles to Home, but for Premier League coverage. All right. So we'll see you soon. All right. We are back. Sorry about the extended break there. Let's jump right back into Premier League action. We had tons of interesting results. We will start. Where am I here? Let's start with 18th place at the time. West Ham.
Yep.
A comprehensive 4-0 victory over Wolves. That was 2 goals from, I almost said Marinakis, Mavropanos.
Yep.
And 2 goals from NYCFC alum Tati Castellanos. That will get them, again, they're on track now. They've won 2 out of their last 4. With a draw and a loss also in that. But when you're at the bottom of the table, those points, 7 points from your last 4 matches are pivotal.
Yep.
The early match on, where am I? The early match is, am I in the wrong?
It was Arsenal Bournemouth.
Yeah, there we go. The early match on Saturday was Arsenal hosting Bournemouth. That was at the Emirates. I know Nas was a little bit nervous about this match coming off the heels of Champions League.
I could only catch the last 5 minutes of it. It was very frustrating.
Yeah, I actually did feature on Premier League Fan Zone on Friday to talk about this match alongside a Nigerian Arsenal fan. And he was very boisterous and confident. And, I was a little bit cagey about it. Before the match, obviously, we have talked both on air and off air about the fatigue of Arsenal after the Champions League. In my eyes, I thought, Bournemouth have a shot just with, maybe this is a little bit of a trap game for them with,
we lost
the second leg coming up. With
we
Man
lost
City
to Bournemouth
coming up
last May as well.
Yep,
It's just, it's a rough game.
So, that being said, another goal from Junior Krupi. He is now the first teenager to 10 goals in the Premier League since Robbie Keane at Coventry, like 25 years ago, I think. So, great for him. He does have a chance. I think the teenage record for goals scored in a season is 12. So he's got another 6 matches to get 2+ goals to eclipse that, which... without having
do it at City.
I was going to say, and without having Semenyo in the lineup anymore, who went to City, they do rely on him a bit more than you normally would with a teenager. So, good for him and good for the club. Brentford Everton was a 2-2 draw. Everton did snatch that second goal late on.
Yep.
Brighton looked incredible again. So 2-0 away from home at Turf Moor against Burnley. I believe that was that a double from Welbeck? Oh, a double from Matt Weaver. That's right. I apologize. So 2 goals from Matt Weaver, and they are back climbing the table. They are in the top half on 46 points in 9th place.
Yep.
Only 2 points out of a potential. Well, we'll
thanks
see.
to Chelsea throwing their game there. They got everybody's within striking distance of that Europa League spot.
Brighton are 2 points out of the Europa League spot, which is after the January.
4.
I know.
Fulham's 4. They're in 12th.
After the January February that Brighton
Palace and Newcastle are 6 points out of Europa. That's crazy.
And we talked about this last season too. The middle of the table is just incredible with how tight it is. Liverpool, after getting embarrassed by PSG, did get a result at Anfield against Fulham. That was a goal and an assist from Rio, the young, highly regarded teenager. And that second goal from Rio went to Mo Salah. So he got back on the scoring sheet. We'll see if that can kind of help boost his and the team's morale for the end of the season. I don't think so, but they are kind of playing for their lives for next year with the European spots really, really up for grabs now, especially, that 5th spot.
Next one down.
Next one down. Here we go. Where are we?
Palace.
Crystal Palace beats Newcastle. I can't put my fingers on what the story is at Newcastle. You're talking about
a team that was in 3rd place with 5 games remaining last season.
And won a cup. They won the Carabao Cup last year. They had high aspirations in Europe. Obviously, they lost Alexander Isak. Eddie Howe.
Yeah, but they picked up
Voltemade. I hate to say it because although I was not a fan of the squad when he was there, Eddie Howe is Bournemouth royalty. I I can't see them keeping Eddie Howe beyond the season. I heard Trippier is leaving as well.
Gordon is going to be looking to leave.
Anthony Gordon, yeah. So a lot of movement there, a lot of uncertainty from literally the world's richest club in terms of ownership group.
Yeah.
So very odd placement at this point in the season for Newcastle. And then we had 3 matches yesterday. We'll start with Nottingham Forest hosting Aston Villa. Villa, again, are up and down. They did get a point away from home, and Forest at Nottingham Forest is not the easiest venue to play in.
But Villa was vying for top spot.
I know.
5-6 weeks ago, like.
Yeah,
it's another thing that's got to be kind of studied. They 3 losses straight, followed by a close win, and then they draw to Forest.
Yeah, it's and their goal was an own goal. Obviously, you put pressure on the opposing team to result in that own goal, but you would think that away from home with the winning mindset that Unai Emery has at Villa now. They would have done better with a struggling Forest who's, it should be said though, desperate for points.
Yeah.
And Forest are unbeaten in their last 4. I will say that 3 draws and a win.
Yep.
So Forest are now good for 16th place as Villa level on points with Man United, both on 55 points. But United has the better goal differential, so Villa in 4th place as it stands right now. And then we go to maybe the biggest surprise of the match weekend, Sunderland. Although I say that and then I look at the table, and Sunderland is a top half team.
Yes,
but
they've again, there was times where all of these sides were in second place at one point. Sunderland was in second, Tottenham was in second. Bournemouth was in second. All of these teams. So
Sunderland hosting Tottenham. Tottenham, this was their first match under Roberto Disarray.
Yeah.
Obviously desperate for points to stay up, especially with the results on Friday from West Ham and Sunday from Nottingham Forest. And Nordi, what is his last name? Let me just zoom in. Mukiele. So Nordi Mukiele. I like when I'm talking with buddies, I just say Nordi, but I did want to get his last name done properly as well. A Nordi Mukiele goal in the 61st minute, and it was Sunderland 1, Tottenham Hotspur 0.
Yep.
And the hits just keep on coming.
I mean, literally, they had to sub out Romero and Kinski.
Yep.
Well, Kinski took a knee to the head. Romero got taken off.
Yeah. So I have not seen any update from either. Well, you said
yes. So if you look,
Romero's
if you look it up,
year.
I think they announced that Romero is done for the season.
I just want to see. I just wanted to see if so Romero's done for the season. I just want to see, if Kinski is in any kind of concussion protocol or it was just a cut. So we will report back throughout the week if we do hear that. So Romero obviously out for the rest of the year, hoping to be back for the World Cup. It's just it's bad to worse for Spurs. So they are now, with all the matches equally played, except for obviously Palace and Man City, which doesn't really factor into the relegation race. Tottenham are in the relegation zone, 18th place, 2 points back from safety now.
Yep. And they still got to play some pretty tough games.
They have a tough. I mean, again, when you're in 18th place, just about everyone you play is a tough game.
Essentially, I mean, again, Tottenham is still. I mean, you can't say they're a top team, but they're still known to be a tough win.
Yes,
they can get draws.
As bad as they are currently, and it's bad. They do still have quality players that can turn a game on its head at will, and multiple of them. It's just a matter of if and when those players are going to show up. I mean, it's been wild to me, really since Dom Solanke came over, and he's just fallen off completely. It seems to be Tottenham right now is where good players go to die. It just, they fall off. I really do think something is systemically wrong in the DNA at Tottenham right now, and I don't know.
Listen, Pigmol can save him.
Yeah, maybe.
Pigmol can save him.
But I don't know what it's going to take outside of that to fix what's going on. Whether it's executives, management. Obviously, managers aren't changing anything. The players are the players. So I don't know where you go from here, but it's been crazy to follow Tottenham over the last couple months. To see from a Champions League spot now to potentially being relegated.
Correct.
Again,
from second place.
Red Black, what's up?
Oh, welcome in.
So Red Black says, I'm 27 years old. There's only a few days I don't talk, think, watch, or listen to football content. I like these days, but I also like the days when I do, but nothing compares to seeing you guys. Well, Red Black, that is one of the kindest comments I think we've gotten in our Twitch streaming and YouTube streaming career. So thank you very much for that. Tough one for you guys on the weekend. I was watching.
Yeah, it was a 1-0, right?
Yeah. And
damn Leverkusen.
Yeah. But I mean, for all intents and purposes, the Bundesliga had already been decided.
Yeah.
It would have taken not only a miraculous run from Dortmund, but also plenty of hiccups along the way for Bayern Munich. For those of you that didn't see, Bayern Munich just broke the record for Bundesliga goals in a season. I think they're at 102 now. They are within striking distance of the Big Five record, which is even more amazing considering there's only 18 teams in Bundesliga, so they play 4 less matches. So, but at any rate, Red Black, thank you for popping in. We, as always, we appreciate it. All right, what are we? Oh, Chelsea City. The late game yesterday. This was one of our predicted matches. Yep. None of us got it right in terms of the scoreline. I believe you and I had Man City.
I had City 3-1.
Yep.
I thought Chelsea was going to be able to pull a goal back.
I had 4-1. I did.
And we didn't get it. I don't think we got a goal scorer.
No. You and Diego both picked Erling Haaland. I had Semenyo. Semenyo actually had.
Well, it's funny because Diego chose Chelsea to win, but a Haaland goal.
Yes. Yeah. Semenyo had one of his worst matches of the season altogether, not just for Man City. But
I'll leave the talking most to you on this one.
Yeah.
I think Chelsea played a great game in the first half, and then I think something switched them off in the second half because that Caicedo goal was a little suspicious. He turns his back, he stops running, gives the ball to the forward, and
so it is interesting though because one of the knocks on Liam Rossignol is he a little bit too much of a tinkerer? Yeah. So maybe his halftime adjustments.
I don't know. There's rumors going around.
Oh boy,
the conspiracy hats on. I'll just leave it at that.
Yes. But yeah, at any rate, Man City does come up with a big victory, 3-0, and now with a match in hand, they are 6 points back of leaders Arsenal. Obviously, this weekend coming up will be a
Sunday
huge match. Arsenal, is this at the Etihad?
Yes, it is at the Etihad. We tied them 1-1 at the home.
Emirates, yeah. So
listen, it is what it is. City dropped points over the last 5. Arsenal have dropped points as well. So we'll see exactly how it ends.
No, I mean, and
again, City still have Everton at home. They still have Everton away. They still have Bournemouth away. It's a long season.
It is a long season. There's
as we've always said, no team can. Again, we saw with United Strand, no team can really win 5 games in a row successfully without grinding. And you're seeing it.
And you know what? You look at where they are, and despite having the bigger lead earlier in the season. Really, and I say
this. Even though there was times where the City was behind by 1 point.
Yeah,
there was times where City was behind by 2 points. There was times where Villa was behind by 1 point. You never know what's going to happen this season. Again, as I told you yesterday, would you rather be Would you rather be the team doing better at the end of the season or the team doing better?
Yeah.
I would rather be the team that's doing better at the end of the season.
Course.
But again, it all depends.
And let's not
In a magnifying glass, yes, it looks worse.
Yeah.
But then again, you also got to realize that 50% of Arsenal's losses have come in the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, and
they've lost 6 games across all competitions.
For their sake, maybe it's just a little blip and they'll be back.
Maybe. Yeah,
but,
you don't know.
It's tough to see. Obviously, Man City. First of all, it's nice for Arsenal to, be able to put themselves in that spot and know, okay, we're at Man City now, so we can, not only do we want to play well, but we can directly affect the team below us.
Even a draw at this point is still better. Like a draw or a win at this point against City is still a win in Arsenal's favor.
And let's also, again, Pep and the guys at City are going to be fighting on every front with everything they've got. But Man City are in the FA Cup still. They have who do they have? They have Southampton, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So so they're still fighting on that front, even though they're not in the other competitions anymore. So there are still some potential hiccups. They have that makeup match with Crystal Palace
at the end of the game, at the end of the season.
You always kind of, for the most part, especially with a team like Man City, you expect that game in hand to be an easy 3 points, but it's not. You'd much rather have the 3 points in your pocket, like Arsenal does, with that 30-second match played. So all I know is I'm really looking forward to the Arsenal City match this weekend and a nice stretch run, down into these last few weeks of competitive, at least a 2-horse race here, because for all intents and purposes, that's all it's going to be. United and Villa are well off the pace. Speaking of United, they had the Monday match here, home against Leeds United. For the old hats that are listening, a restoration of rivalries of yore. This was one of the huge matches in the 80s and 90s back in the day. A brace from Noah Okafor. Before a Lisandro Martinez red card and then a Casemiro goal gives Leeds a 2-1 victory, and
I'm sure we'll be hearing about it for the next week about how ridiculous the red card was.
Yeah. It was. I truth be told, I did not see this match. I was over at the playground.
I saw the foul on a video. Guy.
You said it was a hair pulling.
It was a guy grabs the man bun, pulls the man bun. Guy's neck snapped back like that, and in all intents and purposes.
Don't worry, we can maybe edit that.
No. That's the live reaction of exactly what happened to him. So yeah, he gets snapped back, and that's
wow. I mean, Red Black says, "Don't hurt yourself." Oh man, no, the rules are there for a reason.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have VAR also, so it's not like as far as I'm concerned, and it's not just hair, but it's anytime really the hands are going into the face area, you're threatening yourself with a potential sending off. So. Obviously a tough break for Martinez and United, but it is what it is, and they will have to move on from this, into the weekend. But as it stands, Man United now level on points with Villa, as we mentioned before. So let's do a quick rundown of the table, and then we'll take a break for 100 miles to home. But with 32 matches played, caveat on that is Man City and Crystal Palace have still only played 31. Arsenal lead the league on 70 points, Man City 64, United and Villa level on 55. In 5th place is Liverpool on 52. 6th place, which is a Europa League spot here with the 5 spots going to Champions League. So 6th Europa is Chelsea on 48. 7th place right now is UEFA Conference League. That would go to Brentford on 47, although Everton in 8th also is on 47. That may also all change if Villa wind up dropping more points in the league and then still winning Europa League. So there's a lot of permutations that could...
Again, there is 6 points, which is 2 games over the next 6. between Chelsea and Newcastle.
Right.
Between 6th and 14th.
Yes. So rounding out the top half of the table, Brighton in 9th on 46, Sunderland also on 46 in 10th. Down to the bottom half, Bournemouth on 45 in 11th, Fulham 44, Crystal Palace and Newcastle 13th and 14th respectively, both on 42. And now we get into the relegation battle. Starting in 15th place, Leeds United with a negative 10 goal differential on 36. Forest with a negative 12 goal differential on 33. That is good for 16th place. West Ham, on the heels of that win, are in 17th on 32 points with a negative 17 goal differential. Tottenham are the first team right now in the drop, 18th place, 30 points. And then Burnley in 19th on 20, Wolves in last on 17. So just like I've been saying for months now, I always thought Burnley and Wolves were destined to go down. And then it's just a matter of, I didn't think Leeds would struggle down the stretch as they are, but I thought it would be Forest, West Ham, and Tottenham kind of clawing for that last spot. Of those three teams, it does go to Tottenham's favor, at least for goal differential. So, if they can keep things tight and be level on points, that goal differential lead right now is essentially worth an extra point.
Correct.
So here we have it. 6 matches left among those three teams. I'll ask you now. I'll ask you every Monday of Forest, West Ham, and Tottenham. And I guess you could include Leeds in this too. Who stays up? Who goes down?
I don't know. Again, Wolves are technically not even mathematically out of it.
I know. Yeah,
that's the funny thing. But again, I obviously Wolves I think are guaranteed to go down. Burnley, I mean, if they win the next 6 games, probably not. But
not happening.
I don't think that's going to happen.
They've won 4 so far all season.
Tottenham has a way to dig it out, but again, Nottingham Forest and West Ham could also slip up.
Yeah,
so,
I
mean, they're only 3 points down. As you saw, it's literally just a 1-game jump.
I think I think West Ham comes good on the heels of these results they've had. Forest has been very mercurial, unpredictable. I think it winds up going between Forest and Tottenham, and I think Tottenham go down. I don't see any way out for it.
Listen, dream result would be Arsenal winning and Tottenham going down.
Oh man!
But I think my dreams have been crushed in the last few years, so I don't think that's going to happen this year.
All right. So as it stands, that is the Premier League table after match week 32. We will be back in a couple minutes with 100 miles to home, so stay tuned and stick around. All right, welcome back to A Soccer Fan Walks Into a Bar. I have got Nas beside me. I almost said Diego.
No,
but
Diego.
I was about to. That's where I got.
He misplaced his days since we did the pour over yesterday.
We did the pour over yesterday instead of Saturday because we were here for a 7:30 kickoff for the Arsenal Bournemouth match. So we pushed back, and Diego has lost complete track of what country and time zone he's in. But at any rate, we are here.
I'm telling you, we got to do a skit of where in the world is Diego at this point, or where in Newburgh is Diego.
And we could ask him, but he doesn't know.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
So at any rate, here we are, 100 miles to home. We are going to do a slightly different format for 100 miles to home this week because we've got a little side project on us as well. So we will cover the MLS action and then go to a fun little thing that we've got going on tomorrow. So Inter Miami hosted New York Red Bulls at I think it's called New Stadium, NU though. Inter Miami's new stadium.
They really couldn't come up with anything more original than New Stadium.
It's a sponsor. I think it's called New Stadium, right? Yeah, New Stadium, NU.
What's the sponsor? And what does NU stand for?
Let's see. Let's see what new is. New Holdings, no, it can't be National University. New
Miami sponsor.
Yeah. Let's see what can we come up with for
Nubank.
Oh, it's a
Brazilian
bank,
digital
bank.
financial technology company.
Sounds like a money laundering scheme to me.
Sounds like crypto.
It probably is. But anyway, at any rate, it was a 2-2 draw. Adri Mehmeti in the 77th minute for Red Bulls to bring things level, and he is another one of the teenage sensations
The baby Bulls
for the baby Bulls. And after now, again, it's tiny sample size, but after 2 matches now in new stadium, Inter Miami are winless. So I don't know.
It's Inter Miami.
It is Inter Miami.
It's the MLS. Anything can happen.
You're not wrong. In fact, only 2 shots on target for the Red Bulls, and they scored both of them.
Yep.
And other than that, it did look like a dominant performance from Miami. They just couldn't get the result out of it. Which, again, for players of that caliber, you can kind of look at it from both sides. You can say, they should be winning these matches. But at the same token, just like last year, for them, especially with the World Cup summer, let's just kind of keep, I don't want to say treading water, but just keep playing consistently, stay in the playoff race, and then come August, September, we'll see where everything is at. New York City, on the other hand, went out west to Vancouver. Vancouver has been one of the better squads in the league this year. They obviously were in the MLS Cup final last year against Miami, and Vancouver at home, a 2-0 victory. Goals from Matthias Laborda and Brian White very late in the first half and very late in the second half. Both of them, in my opinion, were defensive man marking issues on set pieces and services. Matt Freese had a very good game for him. So for the U.S. national team fans, that are listening to us,
City's attack has seemed to be.
Yeah, I mean they're still without Alonso Martinez, who tore his ACL playing for Costa Rica in October, November. Pascal Janssen has got some things to figure out, and also, New York to Vancouver is a long flight. They play on turf.
Yeah.
I'm not making excuses.
Yeah.
But we've heard it from European stars where the travel in the MLS is not like you would expect in European or South American leagues. And also Vancouver is a damn good team. They are currently in first place in the West. They have 6 wins and a loss, only 4 goals conceded in those 7 matches.
Like the entire league.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. Yes.
Yeah.
So they are currently the Supporters Shield leader. And right behind them actually is San Jose, also on the West Coast, also with 18 points, only conceded 2 goals in that period. So, for them, for NYCFC to go out west to Vancouver, I personally was not expecting much. It also was a 7 p.m. local time game. So, 7 p.m. Eastern time game. So a little bit earlier in addition to that travel. But again, the result is the result. It's a long season. I do expect there to be many more blips on the radar, as the season goes. But tomorrow, NYCFC also has a match. They are in the U.S. Open Cup. They will be at Westchester Soccer Club, which honestly for NYCFC is pretty close to a home match, but also for us, quote unquote, upstaters, it's actually a closer travel than going to their home stadium. So you and myself,
traffic, everything.
Oh yeah, no bridges.
There's one bridge. There's one bridge.
We can take the I was going to say the Tappan Zee. Technically, it's the Cuomo Bridge, but we don't have to take the GW into the city.
Yeah.
So you, myself, and Diego will be in attendance in Mount Vernon for this match. It is a 2,500 seat stadium. I am told I am told by the club. I've been told by NYCFC that their away supporters alone constitute 600 of those tickets.
Oh, nice.
So, and that's just people that bought tickets directly through NYCFC. Mm-hmm. Obviously, with the way tickets work in America, there's nothing to stop an NYCFC fan from just buying them directly from Westchester or on the open market. And let's not kid ourselves, we also have probably people that are fans of both teams because they're not in the same level.
Yeah.
You know, it's,
they're literally a rock throw away
it's
from
like
each other.
being a fan of the Yankees and Hudson Valley Renegades, you know.
Oh, well, you can't say the Yankees and the Mets?
No, because they play each other.
Yeah, they
Like,
play each other, but
in
they're
the
not in the
league.
same league.
Well, I guess you could say it that way. True. But yeah, so I do expect it to be a very, very pro NYCFC match from the fans and on the field of play.
Yep.
I have not been given any indication as to whether NYCFC will field their full squad or starting lineup. But we'll see. In person, we'll see, and I'm looking forward to hanging out.
This is one of those games where Pascal Janssen can tweak what he wants to tweak, so do it.
Yep, for sure. They do
Field them, see what you can play with.
Yeah, I agree. This will be our first match together since the summer, since the Bournemouth Everton match.
Bournemouth Everton match, yep.
It'll be good to get back into a stadium with you guys. Maybe we'll do a little tailgating or grab some dinner. But at any rate, it's going to be a fun one. Let's get into what's on tap. So obviously Tuesday we have 2 Champions League matches.
Yes.
That will be, let me just bring it up right here so I don't want to misspeak on which matches are where. So Atletico hosting Barcelona and Liverpool hosting PSG, both at 3 p.m. Eastern. Just a reminder, all these will be Eastern time. We do have, I might even try to stay up for that's a late kickoff, but Nashville SC at Club America, 11:30 p.m. And just before that, LAFC will be at Cruz Azul. So 2 more MLS Liga MX matchups. But that'll be.
God, why so late? Oh, because it's at America.
Yeah. So yeah, I we'll see. We'll see if I can make it after being at the Westchester NYCFC match. But also, if you're local, by all means, find a ticket. They're not expensive. Get out to Mount Vernon for that Westchester NYCFC match. If you are not local, this game will be on Paramount Plus if you do have that package. The entire U.S. Open Cup is covered by CBS and Paramount Plus. So I'm just looking off the top here. It looks like Louisville City versus Austin or Colorado Rapids versus Colorado Springs versus Sporting Kansas City will be on CBS Sports. The rest of the matches will be on Paramount Plus, and that is throughout the entire U.S. Open Cup.
Yep.
I would guess maybe the final will be on CBS or CBS Sports. Wednesday, we will be opening early. We will have Arsenal, Sporting Lisbon, and Bayern Munich, Real Madrid on the big screen and a side TV. We have more CONCACAF Champions Cup. Again, late kickoffs, LA Galaxy hosting Toluca and Seattle Sounders hosting Tigres. As for more U.S. Open Cup action, I just want to see Red Bulls at 7:30 p.m. on Wednesday will be hosting the Pittsburgh Riverhounds in the other kind of they almost do pods in like the collegiate championships do. So they try to keep things for the first few rounds as local as possible. And then they kind of expand from there once they're out of the preliminary rounds. Heading into the weekend, we have a full slate here. You know what? Let me bring up. I just realized I'll just do it this way because I have. Right? Didn't I send it? There we go. We will have obviously the pour over 8 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Yep.
Then at 10 a.m. Newcastle United hosting Bournemouth. At 12:30 p.m., the lowly Spurs hosting Brighton and Hove Albion.
Let's go Brighton.
And then the late kickoff, 3 p.m., we will have 6th place Chelsea hosting 3rd place Manchester United. That one could have huge implications for both squads. And I will definitely want to catch that one, even though I'm not a fan of either of the squads. But that one will have huge implications, like I said, for Champions League, for Europa League. And then, we have a Copa del Rey final as well. I forgot about that. Atletico Madrid hosting Real Sociedad. So that is another, we are getting into cup season now where we're, fighting for trophies at the tail end here. And then do I have, NYCFC is home. So we will not be having that match on. For those of you that don't know, we are part of the pub club for NYCFC as well, but we only, in an effort to entice people to physically go to the home matches, we only show their away games. So rolling into Sunday, we have a Merseyside derby with potential implications for Europe for both teams. This one is at Hill Dickinson Stadium, Everton's new home. And then just after that, for what seems like maybe the 7th or 8th time this season, second place against first place, Manchester United hosting Arsenal at 11:30 a.m. I fully expect that to be a packed house upstairs in the tap room. What do you think?
I will probably not be.
I get it.
No. Deanna's working. Deanna is working this. No, she worked last weekend. She is in Lake George for this weekend.
Good for her.
So I don't think I will be able to make it. I had forgotten.
Fair enough.
She's got a bachelorette party. Yep.
All
so
right.
it depends on when she gets home Saturday evening.
No worries. We will still do the pour over. It might just be Diego and I.
No, I'll be here for the pour over. I'll bring Riley for that, but awesome. I don't think I'll be able to bring her.
Fair enough.
2 days in a row.
And I imagine that will be one of our 3 predictions for the weekend. Probably that.
Chelsea, Man U.
The Merseyside derby, and probably Chelsea, Man U.
You could probably do the. You could do the cup. I thought it'd go.
Oh yeah. Well, we got choices here. We'll workshop it. If you guys in our audience want your input, as always. But after the Man City Arsenal match, what do I have here? I have the wrong time on that, don't I? Bayern Munich will be playing Stuttgart. That is a top of the table clash here. Let me just bring up the table. And obviously, Bayern Munich is in first, Stuttgart in third place.
That point jump, 76 to 56.
Yeah, but again, that could spell trouble for. So Stuttgart and RB Leipzig are level on 56 points. For third and fourth place in the Bundesliga, which are both Champions League spots, but Bayer Leverkusen only 4 points behind them on 52, and surprise outfit Hoffenheim on 51 in sixth place, which is currently in Conference League. But again, with Bayern, if Bayern are able to beat Stuttgart there, and Leverkusen and or Hoffenheim win, it could spell trouble for Stuttgart's Champions League lives as we talk about that. So that's it for us on our watch parties. We do have we've got one for the road here. Naz, what do you got for us?
West Brom
West Brom
has been hit with a points deduction that could, from what I was reading, could send them into relegation. A team that was used to being up and down within the Premier League
they were definitely one of the bigger yo-yo clubs in years past. So let's did my keyboard just there we go. West Bromwich Albion.
Yeah.
So they are currently
they're currently 20th.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Well, I can just
standings.
I can just do the math on it to see if this includes their deduction. So they have 11 wins, which is good for 33, and 13 draws. So 46 points. They're on 46 points right now, which is 2 points above the relegation. And as you see, and Sheffield Wednesday on -4 points because they've already been deducted points. Yep. Leicester also 33
got deducted points as well.
Deducted points. So
So West Brom set to get deducted points, and it's just one of those what's with teams recently? What is this? The 5th, 6th team this year that we've heard being deducted points,
but not the one that everyone is clamoring for them to finally face a points deduction potentially in Man City. There's also rumors that Chelsea might be running afoul of some rules.
Correct. Yep. The rumor is the City one is supposed to be towards the end of the season. Yeah. I mean, again, the joke between us is Pigmal's waiting to figure out how many points
right
to give them so that they don't get relegated.
Yes.
Right, the 40 or whatever, 40 for 40, right?
Yeah.
And then Diego takes the 40 points and wins our predictions.
I mean, that'll be. I can't believe if that happened.
If that happened, could you imagine?
I love Diego, but I hate to give him that credit for that foresight. My one for the road was, if you missed it yesterday, Nas, myself, and Diego were very fortunate in being essentially given a license to broadcast the women's game of AFC Bournemouth versus Real Bedford. The result did not go the way we would have liked. It was a 2-1 loss, but it was a really nice time for all three of us to be able to watch the players. Obviously, I was able to interview Charlotte Harris last week as well, leading up to the match, and again, kind of like we talked about in the beginning of the show about compartmentalizing, the result versus everything else.
Yeah.
We have to realize that for the Bournemouth women, they were just promoted to the division this year.
Correct.
So for them to be the new kid in town, and with 3 matches left, still have a real shot at going up to the next level is nothing short of incredible. I mean, we talk about it with Wrexham. Mm-hmm. To be able to get promoted back-to-back years is essentially unheard of. Despite recent, revelations, but to see Bournemouth putting money and personnel investment into the women's game, as both of us fathers of 2 girls separately, obviously. I have 2 daughters, you have 2 daughters. To see a club like Bournemouth putting that investment and that time into the women's game. I think is great for the current crop of players. It's incredible for the future crop of players. So for those of you that don't know, Charlotte Harris, who is now a current starting defender for the Bournemouth women, did not come through their youth academy because there was no youth academy. Yeah. So she grew up in the Bournemouth area. She traveled up to Manchester City to go through their youth academy before playing collegiately in the U.S., and then back to Bournemouth. So for her to be able to come full circle and now be playing in front of the home fans and her friends and people that she grew up with, really is a cool avenue for players now, whether it's Bournemouth, whether it's a lot of these other women's sides across the US, across England, across the continental Europe, even in South America now. You really see them starting to put some money and time into the women's game. So that being said, thank you to AFC Bournemouth for going out on a limb for us and letting us give it a shot. And hopefully it's a sign of more things to come with the club. I'm already working on some stuff for them over the summer and into next year. So really looking forward, and as always, having a great time doing Bournemouth stuff. I mean, you've been kind of by proxy let in, to behind the curtain to do some of this stuff with Bournemouth, and it really is a cool club to be working with, where it's everyone's name. You're on a first name basis with all these people, and you kind of check in with them, and it's not the massive corporate style clubs like an Arsenal, like Man City, like Manchester United, where they have in a good way, they have this huge business that they're doing, but you lose some of that kind of human touch with it. So thanks again to Bournemouth for letting us do that. And that is going to do it for us this week. Please give us a like, subscribe, and share, whether it's on YouTube, on Twitch. Join us or give us a follow on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We are updating our website a little bit more for some of our summer events, so please check out www.cdunewburgh.com if you have any inquiries. Whether it's for sponsorships, whether it's for starting a supporters club of your own, whether it's some topics for us to talk about on the show, feel free to throw me an email, dave@cdunewburgh.com. Follow us on Instagram. I think I covered all the bases there.
That's it.
We will see you Wednesday for our watch parties here for Champions League, or Saturday morning bright and early for the pour over and over some coffee. So thank you guys. Cheers. We'll see you soon. and keep watching games, and we'll see you, like I said, on right back here on, what did I say? Saturday morning.
Saturday morning.
Cheers, guys.
8 a.m.
Be good.